Is Bitmine signaling an Ethereum winter, or just adjusting the buy plan? What should those who have invested more than $4,000 worth of Bmnr stock think about? It looked like the playbook would be simple. Bitmine, ticker Bmnr, keeps issuing stock, raises cash, and quietly buys enormous chunks of Ethereum. Rinse. Repeat. Moonshots and buybacks, and a corporate treasury hoarding ETH until the vault is full. But lately the engine has made a different sound, more tap-tap than thump-thump. Did Tom Lee just flip the stock? The weekly ETH add-ins have shrunk. Cash balances are stubbornly flat. And the company is asking shareholders for the right to issue a huge number of new shares, up to 50 billion, and politely, repeatedly, begging for vote yes. Meanwhile, Tom Lee is pushing the bullish megaphone, and Fundstrat's internal deck, less bullish in private, is whispering a much grimmer near-term scenario. Fact check. Did Bmnr slam the brakes on ETH purchases? Short answer, partially. The company did not announce an outright stop, but the magnitude of recent weekly buys has dropped versus the big splashes we saw earlier. Reporters tracked a recent buy of about 44k ETH, is almost equal to $130M, which some traders call tiny, compared with prior four-figure ETH purchases above 100k ETH in single weeks. That's the proximate reason observers say Bmnr is breaking. Important nuance to investors who own more than $4,000 worth of Bmnr stock: smaller weekly buys are not equal to selling ETH or exiting the strategy. It can mean they are rationing dry powder, holding cash because they expect a lower price. They are managing dilution, raising less each week to avoid crushing the share price with continual issuance. Or they are transitioning capital from buy the dip to staking, locking ETH for yield. Recent staking moves could fit this explanation. So yes, brake sound was heard. But the car didn't get off the road. Why the brake could mean worst case, the Fundstrat base case. Inside whispers matter. Fundstrat's internal outlook, circulating to clients, reportedly gives a baseline where ETH could fall to $1,800 to $2,000 in H1 2026. That's a scenario that would justify a treasury manager saying, "Hold the cash. Wait for the storm." If management believes that scenario, it's logical to slow purchases and hoard liquidity instead. Imagine you're stocking a rescue boat with rope. If you hear the captain mutter, "Big storm ahead," you might pause buying crates of cookies and instead keep fuel in the tank. That's risk management, not necessarily capitulation. By the way, if you are getting value from this video so far and want more like this, please like the video, it means much to us, and hit the subscribe button, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Contrast that with Tom Lee's public face. He's the guy on TV waving a supercycle banner and talking multi-$1,000 ETH targets. That cognitive dissonance, chairman bullish in public, team cautious in private, is the theater that fuels speculation and conspiracy. Bitmine's management launched a highly visible push asking shareholders to approve a charter amendment to increase authorized shares. The company circulated a how-to-vote video and reminders, deadline January 14th. That gives the company enormous optionality. Raise more capital fast, do splits, make acquisitions, etc. Two ways to read this. Optimistic read: they want flexibility to opportunistically issue stock when the next big buying window opens. Think, we'll print shares now and buy ETH later if price collapses, like an institutional funding tool. Pessimistic read: this is permission to dilute, and repeated urgent pleas to vote yes can feel like management bracing for persistent fundraising needs. That raises a governance flag for some shareholders. It's like a homeowner asking friends to sign off on letting them build a giant new wing. Good if they actually convert it into rental income, ugly if it becomes a vanity project. Cash is stagnant. That's the real mic drop. Company filings and press releases show cash sitting around $900M, $1B in recent weeks. If management believed ETH was obviously at a generational low, they'd be burning that cash to load up. Instead, cash is flat. That's a pragmatic move if you think downside is meaningful. It's also exactly what risk managers do when they expect a market shock. But again, holding cash isn't an admission of defeat, it's optionality. If ETH drops to $1,800, they can deploy billions on sale. If ETH soars, they lose optionality but avoid buying high. But wait, They've started staking. Why that matters? This is huge. Bitmine has moved ETH into staking on-chain, Chain, and other monitors flag large staking deposits. Staking does three important things for a treasury play: generates yield, ETH denominated. If they stake, they earned 3%, 4% in ETH, variable. That yields more ETH over time without cash outlay. Reduces liquid float. Staked ETH is less likely to be sold immediately, validator lock-in, queue mechanics, tightening supply. Changes the CorpFX dynamics. Staking rewards come in ETH, that either compounds treasury or can be sold for cash later. On-chain trackers show repeated large staking deposits attributed to Bitmine in recent days. That checks the box. They're not just hoarding, they're converting some hoard into yield-bearing, less liquid form. That looks more like a long-term treasury strategy than a wallet preparing to dump. Example, if they stake 48k ETH at 3%, that's 440 ETH per year. Free ETH, no cash costs. Scale that up across millions and you get serious compound interest. The 44k ETH week. Is that a record low? Multiple reporters tracked a week where Bitmine added 463 ETH, roughly $130 million at that time. Observers compared that to prior monster weeks, where they added 100k plus ETH, and labeled it a record low. Whether it's a record low depends on your time window, but the psychological effect is real. Size of the buys has clearly fluctuated and downshifts are fueling fear. Important to investors, the amount raised to fund each buy also matters. Smaller raises equals smaller buys. If the company chooses to preserve cash, the weekly adds will shrink. That's what's happening. Investors use MNAV, market-adjusted net asset value, to compare stock price to underlying assets. Current public reporting and market quotes show Bmnr trading near or below implied net asset multiples once you factor in ETH holdings, cash, moonshot stakes, and BTC. Multiple outlets and analysts have put Bmnr at near 1x or slightly below NAV in various models, meaning the market sometimes values the company cheaper than the sum of its parts. That creates an odd dynamic. It's theoretically cheaper to buy Bmnr than to buy the company's ETH directly, ignoring execution risk and dilution risk. In plain terms, the market prices in the risk that management will either issue many shares or that ETH tanks, so the stock can trade at a discount to the NAV implicit in its ETH holdings. This is the theater. Tom Lee, publicly, is bullish and shouts long-term supercycle targets. Fundstrat's internal slides, circulated privately, include defensive scenarios with ETH near $1,800 H1 2026. That split is not unique to Bitmine. Many public market managers shout bullish calls to recruit flows while risk teams plan for toughness. When your chairman is both the megaphone and the corporate strategist, that split becomes visible and confusing. Translation: don't take headlines as the whole truth. Read both the press release and the proxy filing. Note this as well. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Daniel 7 verses 25 to 27. Want more information about the books of prophecy? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage us to continue bringing to you more insightful videos. Do not miss out on our future videos. All I am asking is your subscription. Thank you for joining me today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's love.